everybody remembers the great glory days of the World Wrestling Federation from the 1980s up into the early 90s. The Federation era itself, to where you had guys like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Bret the Hitman Hart, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Andre the Giant, tag teams like Demolition, the Rockers, the Brain Busters, the Road Warriors. Then you got some other talents in the forms of, I don't know, like Ravishing Rick Rude. You also had Shane Douglas, or when he was known as Dean Douglas, or whatever. You had Big Van Vader, The Undertaker. You had Kane. You had many great fucking guys out there in the World Wrestling Federation for all those years. And the thing is that each wrestler had their own presentation, their own way of how they cut promos, how they presented themselves, how they looked when they were making eye contact, not only in the camera, but how they were speaking, making you buy into their promos and adjust to that believability that they want you to understand and what they're presenting before the match. And once it gets to the match, it's down to nitty gritty, whether if it's a grudge match or a rubber match or a singles exhibition or it's a straight up tag team for either, you know what, a belt or whatever, or it's at the pay per view. Whatever the case may be, but there are so many great wrestlers that I can just sit here and talk all day about because I absolutely love professional wrestling. I love those glory days, and it always will hit home for me. But we're here to talk about one particular wrestler known as Roddy Piper. I can sit there and just talk about the times where he was having feuds with Don Morocco, Ravishing Rick Rude. He was facing off and making fun of guys like Brother Love and his arguments with Bobby the Brain Heenan and coexisting with Gorilla Monsoon on WWF Primetime, where they went over highlights of different matches. And from there, it was just a confrontation between both Heenan and Piper, and it was just going on. And goddamn, Piper is just one of the most absolutely entertaining men to ever set foot in the professional wrestling world. Even in his glory days when he was in the territory days of Mid-Atlantic South Wrestling, working his way up to the World Wrestling Federation. Sure, he was Intercontinental Champion, but the thing is that he never was the World Wrestling Federation. Honestly, I think he and Hulk Hogan should have main evented WrestleMania 2 for the belt. Not that fucking bullshit ass boxing match between Piper and Mr. T in that steel cage match between Hogan and King Kong Bundy. It should have been Piper and Hogan at WrestleMania 2 for the belt. Piper winning it and showcasing that he is the ultimate dominant heel at the time, where he had Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Cowboy Bob Orton at his side. But we're not here to talk anymore about his wrestling. I can go on, but I'm here to talk to you all about a movie he played. Because, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest movies that he's ever portrayed in was none other than a John Carpenter picture known as They Live. Let me take off these little goofy sunglasses here. These were a lot of money when I got them, too, and sadly, they're not prescribed. So let me put my regular spectacles on so I can see what the hell I'm doing and talk to you all properly. So we all know They Live. Nada is a guy who is homeless. He's working in construction and he's trying to make a penny so he can survive out in the world. But he is living in a homeless camp with a good friend of his that he ended up meeting at the construction site. And now the thing is that I was thinking, you know what? Is this what Childs was doing before he went to Antarctica? Before he met up with I don't know, R.J. McCready and Blair and Fuchs and I don't know, Palmer, all these other guys before the things took out. But the guy's name is Frank, and he and George Nada get along really well. But then all of a sudden, TV starts interrupting, and all these warnings of extraterrestrial life and alien life forms and all this other fucking hullabaloo gaga baloney about aliens taking over, that they are disguising as humans, and they're giving you all these warning signs of obey, confirm, conspiracy, mercy, Ferris Bueller, or the Oompa Loompas, or whatever the fuck the signs are. It's all over the billboards. It's all over the fucking magazines, newspapers, televisions, your favorite porno magazine. It's hell. It's even graffitied all over the walls, whether it's in a train station or on the side of a building or even the fucking bathroom while you're trying to take a massive shit. So, while all that was going on, all this conspiracy of this TV static going on, then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. So the government is taking over all this shit. It's knocking over the homeless shelter. While Nada is trying to escape, he comes in contact with this box. Now, in this box is a bunch of sunglasses. He's wondering what the fuck are these sunglasses doing here. He was trying to see if there was any like food or weapons or whatever that was at the bottom of the box, but the sunglasses was his only way of protection. So he grabbed the sunglasses, he put them on, and everything went into black and white, and he started seeing all the signs out of all of the words that I was just saying. At least some of them that were correct, like obey, consume, form, or whatever. And took them off, and it looks like normal. But put them back on, and he starts realizing the confusion that's transpiring all around him. But then all of a sudden, he tries to pick up a magazine, read, and sees this motherfucker who's looking right at him, and the cocksucker's an alien. So he pulls the glasses off, looks at him, gives him a dirty look, thinking, he puts them back on. You realize that the fucker's ugly as hell. He has the fucking blue face, the fly eyes, the fucking skeletal muscles and the teeth hanging out, and you got this toupee on him and the nice suit and everything. So he takes the glasses off, sees he's a normal person, and puts them on, and realizes that it's a fucking ugly ass cocksucker. So he goes to the store. He tells the lady exactly that you're real fucking ugly. This one's okay, but you are ugly as hell. You look like you fell into Cheese Dip from 1957. I believe that's what he said. So the lady discovered that Nada can see them, so she speaks into the watch, and he speaks, and everyone else is speaking in the watch in the store. He gets out, goes into the police car. He beats up the police, grabs the fucking shotgun. Then he goes into the bank and he says the infamous line, and I quote, "I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum." So then he starts killing all the people who are fucking aliens. So as the whole entire sequence progresses, is that he tries to get Frank on his side to make him believe that, well, I'm not lying. There is shit going on. I'm not going crazy, and he wants to put on the glasses. So not only can he make him believe Nada, but have an ally with him to help save life as we know it. I pretty much explained half the whole fucking movie for you folks, but oh my goodness. Now, I love sci-fi, I love action, and I love glimpses of comedy thrown into it. That's what makes an 80s movie so much fun, so energetic, so exciting, and enjoyable when you're watching. Is that when you're watching an action movie and they throw in some unintentional comedic value scenes into it, that alone adds more sympathy, not just for your main character, but also showcases the visual presentation of how much of a badass he or she is. But also takes place that not every single scene has to come off in like a stereotypical manner. You can just have one fucking villain being a stereotypical guy, and then all of a sudden, here comes the badass main star. He fucking wipes off the main guy, whether if he said something or he verbally or he does an action physically to wipe away the enemy. I love those types of action movies that have comedic relief, because not only does it bring more love to the main character, but it brings more entertainment to the movie itself, and plus makes the scene a lot more awesome. So that is one of the biggest things that I give John Carpenter a lot of credit, is that he's able to take so many different things, sci-fi, action, comedy, and he's able to take all that and just develop it all into just different things. And the thing is that each scene and how it was all played in different various genres, it was timed perfectly, and it made you grow so much sympathy to everything that is going on. To see Nada wanting to wipe away the aliens, save life as we know it, and you want to see that suspense. You want to see how he's going to do it, what he's going to do, who's going to believe him, who's not, who's going to think he's crazy and then realize that he's not being crazy. Fucking Piper alone, just like how he is in the wrestling world, but in the movie, the fucking eyes he's got, the crazy eyes, the fucking tone, the body language, the whole entire look, the display, the way he comes off, his mannerisms. Piper's just a fucking gem in this movie. I don't know what else to explain about him. He is a goddamn gem in this film. And honestly, I've seen some of other Piper's works, and truthfully, some of them are just guilty pleasures. But in this case, this ain't a guilty pleasure. This film is absolutely amazing with his performance. His best role he's done. And the thing is that the interaction he had with him and Keith David playing as Frank, I just love the whole entire coalition. Keith David, he's a decent actor. He's played in some alright roles during his time in the movies. But this is just one of the cases where here he obviously has that look in his face to where you're just being crazy, then it's just going to take a while for him to believe you. That whole entire fight sequence between Nada and Frank, the thing is that Nada's at his wit's end. He don't know what the fuck to do anymore. He wants to get his best friend to believe him. The thing is that with all the government taking over and Frank losing his fucking mind, he thinks that Nada is either a traitor or he's an alien or whatever the hell. So they pretty much fight to the pulp until Nada makes Frank have the glasses on and realize that, you know what, Nada wasn't bullshitting. I absolutely loved the whole entire action that was put into it. Two friends beefing it out, fighting each other, not out of hatred. It's out of, in my eyes, it came out of respect. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like it was a fight out of respect, not out of hatred or betrayal. It sure as hell didn't feel like that. And I really loved how that was completely showcased in the movie. Fantastic. Now, the thing I also have to tell you is that the whole costume design of making the aliens look different, I love that whole entire concept to where alien life form is on Earth as we know it, but the thing is that they are disguising themselves as human. They're basically taking the DNA value, the DNAs of a human, and transforming into basically a carbon copy of another human. That sounds like another John Carpenter movie that has that same particular premise. But the thing is that when it comes to exposure, they fucking just go ape shit and actually comes out as an alien. In this instinct, same type of premise, to where it is a carbon copy of a human, but instead of a carbon copy, it's a disguise. It's a disguise, and you have to use like a little prop, like sunglasses, in order to make sure that are they real or are they not. So just like in the thing, DNA tests, like the blood test, are they human or are they alien? But instead of that, you got the sunglasses. I just love the little details that Carpenter puts in his movies, just the littlest things. And this is one thing when I watch movies in general, I look at the littlest things that what makes a movie fantastic. Like some of the best out there. The littlest things make a big difference. And for all you folks out there who watch and review movies, take that note into consideration that the littlest things make a big difference in a movie. Because it's the guy's honest truth. I'll give you an example. The sunglasses. You can just go around and just grab yourself a pair of sunglasses, and then all of a sudden you're minding your business, you put them on, you realize that you see some fucking jack off doing something that he shouldn't be. Then you take him off, you thinking, oh, he's just lollygagging. When you put him back on, see, that's the beauty. You are blending yourself with sunglasses. You're blending yourself, you are disguising, and you're using these as an advantage to basically see what the hell's going on in the reality. See, the thing is that when you don't have any glasses on, you're blind. When you put them on, you can see. Why do you think I wear fucking glasses for a living? So, John Carpenter is able to take a small prop, take a concept he's used prior, and use it again, but add a lot more different creative values. And the sci-fi element is that extraterrestrial, alien life forms been a big thing in sci-fi movies for so long. That's like the number one common thing. You got creatures that are like the main source, and you're leaving like a whole build-up. You're learning all different sorts of things of leading before getting to the actual encounter with said alien or monster or whatever. You learn about the history, where it's damaging, what's going on, are you going to take it out, and you plan it. Then once it comes in time with the contact, or you're just seeing like little visuals or whatever, you plan ahead and you realize what the hell you're going to do. So you see that a lot in those old 40s and 50s sci-fi films. But in this one, though, sure, that whole entire premise is there. But again, Carpenter's able to bring such a creative slash original ideal concept to this movie that just makes it absolutely brilliant. But in terms out of everything that I just stated within the main actor, the supporting character, the whole entire friendship that they have, the fight they had, the whole entire built up premise to where it's just giving you little warnings and it gives you a little ideal what the hell is going on with the government coming over, causing all this mischief. But then as the film progresses more and more, you are starting to learn exactly what it is by just looking through a pair of sunglasses and just learning the whole entire the warnings, then going out and seeing exactly who these people are. And just I love the determination that Nada had to save life as you know it, fight off anybody who is in part of this whole UFO entourage of aliens. Do one particular color and make them expose, and then, well, shit happens from there. They get killed off, and that's it. Life is saved as we know it. But if there's one thing I have a big negative with the film, again, besides everything I say that's a positive, my biggest negative was Meg Foster playing as Holly Thompson. Now, in the beginning aspect, usually in like horror, sci-fi's, whatever, if they're getting like a gun pointed at their head, they're like screaming their fucking head off or whatever. But in this instance, she was cool, calm, and collected, and the way she took Nada in, it was just like, you know what, I'll see what this guy wants. But then afterwards, she threw him out the fucking window, and from there, well, turns out she's a real bitch. I wasn't necessarily a big fan of Meg Foster's character, Holly Thompson. I wasn't crazy about the performance. I didn't like how she came off. And it was just a particular performance that I just didn't think it fit this particular film. Now, if you wanted to have a badass female, sure, you can have her come in, but instead of her being being the side enemy to where he doesn't believe him, make her the ally, and they just continue fighting and maybe have a little romance at the end. Maybe that could have worked. I don't know. That's just me. But overall, folks, They Live is a fun, awesome, badass movie with different genres thrown into one while staying true to having an original story that only John Carpenter can bring. The level of brilliance he has, taking someone like Piper and turning him into a badass in this film. The whole entire fight sequences, taking little things and just turning it into a big deal. They Live is a phenomenal movie, absolutely fantastic, one of my favorites, and the film is a picture that I gave a 4 out of 5 to. So, folks, that is my discussion of They Live. Let me know down below if you've seen this movie. I'd like to hear your perspective of what you think of it. So, ciao for now.